Hi, I'm Ben Canning, and this microlecture is on speed. As always, you need 3 or more bullet points worth of notes, 1 to 2 sentence summary, and to do any follow-up questions on Google Forms. Now, last time we talked about wave speed, so this idea that we can figure out the speed with which a wave is traveling by multiplying frequency times wavelength. We had the variable, the units in meters per second, and it was one way we could calculate speed. Well, there's a more general way to calculate speed that we can also talk about. And it's based on the kind of technical definition. So if you don't know, and you've probably seen this in math class, but speed is the rate of distance per unit time. Now, in physics, when we use the word rate, that is a general term. It doesn't always mean speed. It could be the rate of change of energy. It could be the rate of change of momentum. It could be the rate of change of speed itself, which would be acceleration. So rate is too general of a term, so we actually just talk about it as speed. So distance per unit time. Now, if you don't know, the equation for that is kind of built into its own definition here. So if we read this and look at rate of distance, so we can start with d for distance. Per usually just means a fraction bar or division in that sense, and then time. So that's effectively what this rate is, or what speed is. So to calculate it, we're just going to do distance divided by time. We usually don't use an italicized v for general speed, but we do when it's wave speed. Units are still meters per second. Like I said, it is distance divided by time. Now, when to use each equation, we'll often use v equals d divided by t if the information given is distance traveled or the time, so effectively either of those two things, or if we're trying to calculate the distance traveled or the time. Meanwhile, we'll use v equals frequency times wavelength if we are given frequency and or wavelength, and when we're calculating frequency and or wavelength. So oftentimes you'll need to think about these two interchangeably because both will calculate the same speed, just different ways of doing it. That's it for this one. 3 or more bullet points worth of notes, a 1 to 2 sentence summary, and please do your follow-up questions on Google Forms.